This is Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. I'd like to start off by saying Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, B'chak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab Amawan back at you with another lesson. And going into the title, all right, check this out. All might be bullshit going off of the story of Nolan Wells. All right. And the reason I say that, right, is because I've been kind of just following what's going on with that whole little incident that went down, right? And you got to remember the Lord will reveal things onto us sometimes, well, all the time, because as the scripture says, surely the Lord will do nothing but reveal his secrets onto the servants, the prophets, right? But the Lord will reveal things to us through the Spirit, all right, to show us what time it is, or to give us a heads up on a certain topic or something, right? And what I realized today, since I've been watching, these different videos coming out on Nolan Wells, all right, let's look at it from this point of view, right, real quick. All right, here it is a so-called black man, right, teenager that's surrounded around nothing but, Edomites, right? One thing I've always kind of realized, all right, through the Spirit, when you see Edomite that's surrounded around Jake, most of the time those people that look like Edomites are pretty much Jake, because it's all spiritual that they're around us, right? But I've always said, when you see Jake surrounded by a bunch of Edomites, right, that a lot of those people be tares. Now, I'm not saying that's what the case is here, all right, but just look at it from this aspect, right? So my point is this: with all that's going on with Nolan Wells right now, right? They supposedly he was at this island. There was an argument. Boom, he got left at this island and never came back, right? And then you had a couple days later that basically new evidence came up that he went to a party, all right, that he came off that island, okay, and that they still found his body on the island, right? And supposedly what was going on was that he ended up being killed at this party, right? And they took his phone and they took his body, and in the middle of the night they took it to the island that they were previously on that day, all right, and it made it look like he never came out that island. That's why his phone basically pinged out there, right? Now, the story was that when that happened, which it made sense more on that end, right? If it is Jake, and he is Jake, right? Yeah, that will make sense for these damn Edomites to do that, because these Edomites were pretty much, one of the guy's moms was a judge, right? They were all connected to the system somehow, right? So very well possible that the mother as a judge gave him the plan to basically speak to the public on, all right, and there was going to be all types of ways for them to hide this case, all right, and making it look like it was no foul play, like it was just a drug related scene, that he was getting high and he got hurt. I remember this happened, I believe it was in Mississippi. Yeah, Mississippi. So everything down there is already racist toward our people. Okay. But now the reason I'm saying that he just pictured him being a tear, right, is because of this. So with all that new evidence that came up, right, I'll show you real quick what I mean, and hopefully it makes sense. And this was random today because I don't go on Facebook. I'm always on Instagram. So all of a sudden I went on Facebook and there was a picture that came out that was literally a picture clearer than the pictures that have been going through Instagram and TikTok. And me just being always in my mind, there's some fake ass detective work out there. I was like, oh shit, that sticks out, right? And I'm gonna show you what I mean. This is the first part. This is the first original video, all right, of what went down. Because I sent it to wifey. Hold on. This is let's see, where is it at? Okay. So this was the breaking news, right? That it says, and I'm gonna read what it says. It says Nolan Wells. This is the picture. Hold on, let me make y'all screen bigger so y'all can see good. Lord willing, y'all can see. Right. So this is the picture. Let me put on my lighting all the way up. So this is the picture that surfaced, all right, of the new evidence. All right, you got three circles. The one on in the back is Nolan Wells, supposedly. The one that's in the front is supposed to be this guy that he do look out of place because all these people are young, but he look old as hell. And then the one that's in the top right corner, which will be on your top left, right, is basically the poles that are missing from the pool, because they said that he got hit with a pole. He got beaten to death, right? They weren't even able to identify him. They said that it will be there was dental records to identify him. All right, now check this out. Listen to this. The mother and the father, when I seen their interviews, they didn't even look like they were heartbroken. All right, that's one. Two, look who's involved in this case. Tyler Perry paid for the funeral, right? You had Jay-Z just did a 3-day tour in Yankee Stadium, or 3-day concert in Yankee Stadium, right? And it was in the name of Nolan Wells, right? And then you had Al Sharpton that was involved as their lawyer, or not was it a lawyer? Or he's just involved, period, into this whole shit. Al Sharpton is a big name. Once he get involved, there's a lot of shit going on. So these are three different type of people that are connected to, all right, the secret society. They're connected to Freemasons, connected to the Illuminati. All right, Tyler Perry, which does movies, is a movie director, and he does all them fagonometry movies, right? He get paid hella bread. Jay-Z, we know his ass, what he for, all right? And Al Sharpton, he also connected to the Illuminati and to all these agendas, right? Which made no sense, because it's like, all right, Al Sharpton all of a sudden came out of nowhere, and I'm like, there's been so many damn deaths with a bunch of Judites, right? And all of a sudden, this nigga want to pop out for this specific one, right? So just keep that in mind, those three, right? Now, I said the mother and the father, they looked like they weren't even fucking crying. They didn't even shed a tear. They looked happy. Like if they did their mourning. And man, listen, if someone just got killed in your family, all right, especially if you're in this truth, you're not gonna cry as much because you have understanding. These niggas ain't got no understanding, right? So here it is, your son got killed, and you were looking for answers, and your ass is not crying. That already looks suspect, right? Now this is what I seen. So this picture right here, right? It says breaking news alert. It says Nolan Wells was murdered by blunt force trauma at a pool party after returning from Horn Island, right? And mind you, it's called Horn Island. All right, this is how you got to look how Esau just do shit. It says Nolan was beat to death by two of the boys, and then they urinated on his body after killing him. All of the people in this photo watched the murder and said nothing as it was happening. After the murder, then took his body and his phone to Horn Island. so that it would ping there to give the appearance as if he was still on the island. I want everyone to pay attention to the grown man with the Salakish, USA shaved into his chest hairs in the pool with these kids. He is a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, KKK. He is the one who crafted the murder and subsequent cover up. And parents in this case, including the judge, know exactly what happened. The medical examiner is going to rule the death as an accident in true racist Mississippi form. Everybody black knows what her ruling is going to be. That's why an independent autopsy was scheduled. The sheriff, prosecutor, and all of the people in this photo are covering up the murder. Signed, Dogface Calderon. All right, Calderon. Now, let me see if I can blow this picture up for you. All right, I'm gonna make it big. So I'm gonna show you the little USA on his chest. All right, give me 1 second. Oh shit! Hold on, I gotta go back into the picture. Okay. Now, this is what he looked like. All right. Hopefully y'all can see. This is what the guy looked like. He all out of place. Now the USA is on his chest hairs. You can see that clearly. Clearly. All right. So this is what they said. He was part of the Aryan Brotherhood, right? KKK. Now this other picture is supposed to be Nolan Wells. I want you to remember this real quick. This is supposed to be Nolan Wells. All right. Okay. That's what his face looked like. Now check this out. Now today, randomly, I passed like I said, I was in Facebook, okay, and this picture came up down the fucking feed. All right. Oh shit, my bad. This picture came up down the feed. Now this is a clear picture than the ones that have been circulating all through the web. This is about the clearest picture I've seen. And I've seen it already about 100 times. But all of a sudden, I realized, okay, which it says right here, so Nolan did leave the island. He made it to the after party at his friend's White House, and I used the word friend loosely. Someone took pictures on their accounts before they scrubbed them and deactivated them, right? So this is an original picture. Right? Now, there's a couple things missing in this original picture. And this is what's missing, right? This is the original picture that was going around the web. Now, if you look over here, there's two people that are missing in that other picture. Right? Which I'm going to show you that picture again. See, they're missing. It was the guy that was hugging the other one, right? And then when you look close to that guy that's out of place, this guy, where's the USA on his chest? See, this picture doesn't have it, okay? And it doesn't look like it was photoshopped. It doesn't look edited, okay? It looks like a legit-ass picture. Right? And then Nolan Wells, this is what Nolan Wells looked like. All right, this is his original picture. But when you look at the guy that's in the back that supposedly is Nolan Wells with the new picture, right? This nigga looked nothing like him at all. I mean, kind of the same hair. I kind of thought, I said to myself, maybe this nigga was just black as hell from the sun. He caught an extra tan, but nah. This guy, you could clearly see that he's darker. Okay? Look at that. You can even see it in his face. They're not even close. Not even close. This guy's way darker. All right, let's go back to Nolan Wells. Not even close to the same face. All right. So the first thing I instantly thought is, hold on. So there's a guy missing. There's two people missing in the picture, right? Which, what would be the point for it to not have the two people in there? It couldn't be photoshopped, right? This looks like the original picture. I'm telling you, this shit is the clearest picture out of all of them. And there's not two people there. That guy that's Nolan Wells supposedly is not looking like him, and this guy all of a sudden has no damn no USA on his chest. And the first thing I thought was how Esau do shit like that. Esau will make shit up just to push an agenda. Now we know, all right, that Esau come with a lot of crisis actors, man. He got people paid, especially in these last days. He got a lot of people paid, all right, to keep agenda going, right? So this is just food for thought, all right? I'm not even saying this is what it is. This is just something I thought about randomly. What about all this shit is just bullshit, and it never even actually happened? Nobody got killed. Think about it. Parents weren't crying. Al Sharpton, Jay-Z, and Tyler Perry, which are all part of the Illuminati, are involved in this shit, right? Now all of a sudden on the picture, you don't see a USA across the guy's chest. Now you got two people that are not on the picture that was on the picture. You see? See, what happens is with Esau, the way he moves sloppy, man. You know? And then Esau always do some dumb shit, as the scriptures say, that their tongue shall fall upon themselves, man. So they always do something that make their lies come to the light. Scriptures even talk about that, man, that what's done in the dark shall come to the light. You know, what's done in secret shall be made manifest. All right. And only those that are woke to shit like that and understanding, basically those that have the understanding of these scriptures, we are able to see those things all the time, man. All right. Because not too long ago, you had with all these Black Lives Matter people, right? A couple months back, they were trying to restart the Black Lives Matter movement, right? And there was a couple brothers did a video on it. I know Amawang Gabar did a good video on it. He showed how they were taking pictures that were old as hell, and they were putting them together and making it seem like it was fucking up to date, like if it was done yesterday. And the way he could tell was that the arm on the lady was like backwards and shit. Her arm should have been a certain way if she was putting her hands up in the air. And that's what I instantly thought with this. I was like, yo, why all of a sudden this nigga ain't in the picture? This guy don't look like Nolan Wells, and this USA ain't on here, and all these people are involved and the parents ain't crying. And I started thinking Esau just did that shit just to bring your agenda. This is how you know that they're trying to start that race war. All right. The fact that they even used someone saying that he was part of the Aryan Brotherhood and KKK, like what the fuck is he doing at that party anyway? That's a grown ass man, all right, chilling with a bunch of teenagers. Okay. For whatever reason, there's always that one weirdo, all right, that does that. But it's just something that we have to be mindful of, knowing that everything that Esau does is filled with lies. All these things that are being done right now are to push agenda more than anything. So who really knows if this shit is real or not? And the way I'm perceiving and putting it together, I believe that none of that shit is real. Nah, it just ain't real. Now, the other shit that you've been seeing all over the web, you know, people getting lynched and a lot of Judite women getting killed and shit. All right. Matter of fact, this one that just came up yesterday, was it yesterday or today? And you don't see Al Sharpton involved with that. I was like, bro, that shit is more serious than Mr. Nolan Wells himself. All right, let me see. This is the one with it's right here in front of mine. You got two of them. Look, it says police find body of missing 4-year-old Black girl and lake dissolved by chemicals. All right, this just happened, literally. All right, then you got another one. This one, Jury finds man, right, guilty of killing and dismembering 19-year-old woman on first date. All this shit happened like within the last couple days. You see? Now these things are official, but you don't see Al Sharpton. You don't see why wouldn't Tyler Perry go and pay for their funeral? You know what I'm saying? And get involved in that. You see? This is things that you got to think about, man. But they use specifically Nolan Wells for this shit. I believe it's all bullshit and it's just made to push agenda. Actors, they could have paid somebody. They could have. There might have been a real person named Nolan Wells, and they said, "Nigga, we gonna pay you. We gonna act like you dead. You know what I'm saying? Make it look good. All right. Tell two parents, all right, listen, we gonna make you look like you the parents of this person. Crisis actors, man. We're gonna pay you good and just go out there and do what you do best. Go act, okay? Because to me, none of it makes sense. Why all of a sudden you see people missing in pictures and shit like that. And like I said, the one that was from Facebook, that's the spirit that it came up to me like that, because I haven't even seen anything on Facebook talking about that. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not going down Facebook algorithms. It definitely is, but because I'm not on Facebook like that, it never that shit wasn't coming down my algorithm there. But on Instagram, it was all types of shit coming out on my algorithm based on Nolan Wells. And nobody ever came out with a picture like that. You see? So it's the spirit that it came to me on Facebook like that. And it was the clearest picture out of all of the ones that I seen on TikTok and on Instagram. So to me, it's all bullshit, you know? And I'm just giving you, hey, I could be wrong. I'm just thinking as a man. Like I said, it's something I came across. All right. But me knowing how Esau works, yeah, Esau like to do that shit, you know? Everything he does, he has an agenda for. He'll lie, he'll pay crisis actors, you know? And let's just say, if there is a Nolan Wells, that nigga might be a straight tear, and that's why they used his ass and just said, look, we're gonna make you look like you's a whole black kid that got killed, you know, by a bunch of whites, and you know, just you're gonna be a rich man and go living about your life, man. And these people out there living their lives, man, like nothing happened. You know, who the hell will know if Nolan Wells, if you walk past them today, that was Nolan Wells, man? You see, all they doing is using it for the agenda at the moment. You see. So that's just something to be mindful of, man. You can't believe everything that you see on social media. All right, you damn sure can't believe everything that Esau speaks about, man. When Esau talks shit, I don't ever believe half of the shit that he talking about, unless it's something that's prophecy and it pertains to, you know, the scriptures. Then absolutely, because I know that's prophecy. But when it comes to all this social media bullshit, all right, all these little things that you always see popping, a lot of these things are just distractions, man. They're distractions to keep you from what's really going on. Or if it's not a distraction, it's something to push their agenda. Remember, they're trying to wake the race wars up right now. That's why you see a lot of news coming out on Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom being taken out the way, you know, being unalived. To stir up the people and get pissed off. Like I just seen another one with it was about ICE just shot another Issacharite in front of his children, yo, and just killed. This shit happened today. So you'll probably hear about it the next 2 days, if they even put it out there. Right. And then it was another one with an Issacharite that got hung. You see, these are all brought up to stir up the people. And I'm not saying those are fake. Those are probably definitely real. All right. But just be mindful how Esau lies and how he brings a lot of shit to you know, cause a lot of strife and contention amongst the people. You know, remember, he likes to sow discord among the people. Okay. To have them, you know, pretty much fighting against each other. They want you to stand up and fight against the government. They want you to be mad at the government. They want you to be like, wow, I thought these people were for us and they're not. And that's what's going to cause the race war. That's what's going to cause the sedition among men, right? Let's grab that real quick. You know, sedition among men is people standing up against their own government, right? Because that's the go-to for them to say, okay, let's bring in martial law. Let's bring in these martial law troops. Let's bring in homeland security, right? National guards. Let's fill up the streets, all right? And they've been talking about that the last couple days, how they're about to bring National Guard into these states, okay, which they already been there, okay? They've been put them out there in the last couple months back, like 4 or 5 months back, they were already putting troops in different states, and they're still there. Just because you don't see them outside doesn't mean they're not there. They're already posted in those places, man. They just, you know, chilling and laying low till a certain agenda gets pushed or a certain outcome happens. Then, you know, you'll see them come out of their little fucking rat holes, right? This is 2nd Ezra 15 and, all right, Slakia. This is 16. 15, it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's what they want. They want the people to stand up and fight against each other. Okay, as a matter of fact, when you go into 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter, it tells you that, man. It tells you, where's that at? Give me 1 second. Is it 14 or is it 13? It might be 13. Where it says one people against another people, right? And they shall have, and it says one realm against another. There you go. 2nd Ezra 13 and 31. Right, and it says, let's take it from 29. It says, behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. You see? And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave in battle. They have one against another. All right. And this is really going to, and it could go into when the time is when Yahushua has them fighting in World War III, right? You know, and then when Yahushua cracks them clouds, all right, they're gonna be so afraid, but yet there's fight, as it tells you earlier in the chapter. Okay, so that's what that one realm against another is. But the point is that there's gonna be fighting amongst the people, city against city, because of the sedition among men that you hear in 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter. Right. So going back to that, it says, for their sword, 15 and 15, 2nd Ezra, for their sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You see? Yeah, so there's going to be sedition, man. People going to stand up against their governments because they're going to realize, all right, that everything that they fucking been standing up for is all a lie. It's all bullshit. You see? As a matter of fact, when you go into Hosea, right, in the NLT, Hosea, this is what's going to cause a lot of them to stand up and have sedition among men, right? This is 10 and 13 in the NLT. It says, let's take it from 12. It says, I said, plant the good seeds of righteousness, and you will harvest the crop of love. Plow up the hard ground of your hearts, for now it is time to seek the Lord Yahweh, that he may come and shower righteousness upon you. But you have cultivated wickedness and harvested a thriving crop of sins. Here goes the point. You have eaten the fruit of lies, trusting in your military might, believing that great armies could make your nation safe. Yeah, so people gonna think that America's gonna be made great again, that people gonna that Mr. Trump himself is gonna make, all right, this nation safe. But they have been what? Eating the fruit of lies, man. You've been brainwashed, and that's what's gonna stir up, all right, sedition among the men. That's what's gonna start, total battling between the people. Okay, Egyptian against Egyptian, as it tells you in Isaiah the 19th chapter, causing Egypt basically to fail and to fall. You see, the Lord gonna reveal all this shit at one point where you're gonna realize that everything that Esau has told you has been a complete fucking lie, man. Because that's all we're surrounded around. We're surrounded around lies all day long, man. And the bigger the lie, right, the more he can have control over the people. He could kind of basically do whatever he wants with that lie. And that's what reminded me when I seen that whole shit come down Facebook. I was like, oh shit, you got two white boys that's missing out the picture. So who knows if they were even in the picture? Why do they got him in the picture? I was trying to really figure that one out. Like, what would be the point of taking them out the picture or adding them to the picture? But they're gone. Now the USA on this guy's damn chest ain't there no more. So who the fuck knows if he is even an Aryan brother KKK member? Probably just some random ass weirdo that's at the party. There's always that one weirdo that can't get out of his high school spirit, out there chilling with the youngins. All right. And the one that they claim to be Nolan Wells don't even look like Nolan Wells at all. The mother and the father weren't crying in their damn interviews at all. And Jay-Z's involved, right? Doing a 3-day fucking concert in the name of Nolan Wells. Tyler Perry paid for the funeral. What the hell is the point of that? And Al Sharpton is involved. All that shit to me just sounded fishy, looked fishy. And to me, once I've seen that, I was like, man, listen, this shit bullshit, bro. It's all just to push the agenda of race wars, man. And because a lot of people are stirred up by this right now. A lot of people's like, oh my God, I can't believe this shit. These white people always get away with everything, and this is a state of Mississippi. So forget about it. Jake not smart enough to see these things because they're always caught up and distracted by something they don't need to be distracted by. You see? So I just wanted to share that through the spirit. Lord willing, it was edifying and it was not confusing at all. But y'all saw what I saw through the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Just be watching. Just got to keep your eyes open with Esau, man, because Esau always with an agenda, man. And Esau always lying to make shit worse and bigger than what it is, just to stir up people and stir up crowds, man. And like I said, there's a lot of crisis actors. I see it all the time down social media, man. There's always some crazy ass videos that I'll be looking at. And I'll be like, yeah, that's the same person that was from the last video I seen. There's this one girl that gets used a lot. One lady, she's a light-skinned so-called black woman. She's always used in these videos, and there'll be a video of someone getting smart with an Edomite and cursing them out, or a racist scene that's going on, and she's in the background and she jumps in it. I would love to show a picture of her, but I ain't even worried about it. But I've been peeping that shit for a while now, man. There's always crisis actors and actors just being used for a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And when you're constantly looking down as watchmen, you pick up on those things, man. So just be on point. Don't let Esau fool you with the bullshit. All right. And just wanted to share that through the spirit. So Lord willing, it was edifying. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the whole full elect scattered abroad. The Hakim and the Aquat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith. Shalom.